Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
In this video, I'm going to give you 3 separate incidents of my clients where once upon a time, these people who they trusted, who they loved, who they had a relationship with, were their best friends. But then over a period of time, especially after my coaching, mentoring or whatever, these people have the very same people who loved them, who were almost ready to die for them. They have become their biggest enemies. I want you to watch this video and give me your thoughts and views. Who do you think is at fault? Okay. And have you experienced this, or do you know someone who has experienced? All right. Feel free, comment down below. In case you're new to the channel, my name is Loy Machedo, personal branding strategist. I help people get well-paying jobs in Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, Qatar, Saudi, Bahrain, Oman. And people also book my sessions for coaching, consulting, mentoring. Details are put down below. Okay, so now I've changed the details, specific details, to protect their privacy, and I've taken their permission to share this incident. So the first one was this. This is something that generally happens when someone comes to me for coaching and takes his coaching very, very seriously. Okay. All of a sudden, they don't do the same old habits like they do. They don't hang around with their friends. They don't go to these religious events. They don't go to these family get-together. You might say, Loy, you being an atheist, you're poisoning them. No, I educate them and I make them understand your time is very important. So instead of spending time going for a get-together party, like whatever it is, once a week, some families have this brunch or get-together. You can study. You can work hard on yourself. You can network with business clients, potential candidates who can help you in your career. So it all depends on what their goal is. If, for example, a person's goal is to climb up to the next level in terms of the corporate hierarchy, sitting and eating a barbecue with your uncle and your auntie and your all these small little baby devils who are running around in a park and hogging the whole day and gossiping is not going to help you. You need to be very practical. You need to be obsessed about your career path. So any activity that is not in line with their goals, it's my job as a coach, mentor, trainer to tell them, see, listen, I will not recommend this, but then it's yours. And because they're paying me, they know that I have their best interest in mind. So what happens is family, friends, old people who like you, all of a sudden there's a distance. And then first is, why are you behaving so indifferent? But the next step comes whereby when they start noticing you climbing up the ladder, getting the results, which they predicted, if you act like this, your ego is up, you're acting too smart, you will be humbled. And then obviously, if some of them come to know that this tattooed guy is teaching, training them, all hell breaks loose. That's why I keep it confidential. They think I'm a Satan cult worshipper and I'm taking them to the dark side. So when they actually start climbing up the corporate ladder or they show results, generally it takes 6 months to a year, because nothing happens suddenly, because they are also applying for new jobs. And then people don't like it. And here's a mysterious question. Why is it when you start succeeding, they are not very happy? The answer is very simple. Because as long as you're at their level, that's fine. Or you're below them, that's fine. He's always under me. But the minute you start crossing them or getting above them or getting better than them or more than them, they don't like it very much. They'll always support you when you're the underdog, or if you're the small boy who's not succeeded. Come on, you can do it. One day you'll become like me. Don't worry. But now, when you became really big, too big for them, and you're succeeded, their ego gets hurt. And then they question, this guy who was under me used to take my advice. Today he is acting smarter than me. And obviously they get defensive. Don't forget who you were, huh? When you were nothing, nobody, you were taking my advice. So they like to put you down. So this generally happens with family and friends. And like, I'll give you one example. One of my one of my clients, he used to hang around with these, I think, 6 or 7 South Indian friends of theirs. They used to go to these cafeterias and hang out there and eat burger and French fries. And they used to walk in small time shopping malls and see girls, and then they used to go for movies once a week for movies, and then after the movie they'll eat food, and after that they'll go window shopping and again stare at girls and go shop, just the normal stuff. So ever since he took my mentoring, he stopped all these activities, and I told him, this is what you need to focus on. He started going for extra classes to learn and study. He started going for etiquette classes. I told him to start networking and going to VIP, expensive events, networking with the guys and the girls. And obviously, he started making new friends, new girls. And his friends didn't like it very much. And as time went by, his car got upgraded from the Toyota that he had to a nice, sleek design car, because part of the image building process. He started taking up hobbies which matched what his boss or higher ups would take. He took up the same hobbies. He started going for events and conferences where these VIPs would hang out, and very soon they started networking. So, because remember this, you want to network with someone, you need to be at their level. Okay? You can't network with your bum chum buddies eating cheap burgers and gawking at girls in Carrefour if you want to network with people who are going to 5-star events. So very soon what happened is all his friends broke off with him, and now they don't want to talk to him. And in fact, forget that part. They're actually spreading bad stuff about him, that he is a two-faces. So this was one incident. The second one was, this is slightly a little tragic, but this candidate came to me, or this client came to me, after he lost his job. He was occupying a senior level role in the Middle East, where he was responsible for many decisions that were being taken. All his staff literally loved him, worshipped him. So what happened was, the management at the top, especially after COVID, they changed. So after they changed, they brought in new management. So when the new management comes, obviously the top guy brings his guys and people he knows. And like, for example, this has happened in oil and field companies where from the Indian management that was running everything very well, they brought in a Lebanese guy, and the Lebanese guy bought only his Lebanese chaps, and they bought their Lebanese thing. They cleaned up all the Indians that were there. And they said they wanted to modernize and whatever. They bought Arabs more, and eventually that petrochemical company ended up in a massive, massive disaster, because you're just bringing people not based on merit. You're bringing people based on your favoritism or who's who. You can destroy the company. So in the same way, in this particular firm, they bought in all the guys who they knew. And eventually, this guy being at the top, he was a lone guy who was there from the time this company started. He was replaced. Okay, now, before I tell you what happened after he replaced, before he got replaced, every single person in that company used to stand up to give him respect. Like, hello, sir, the security guy, the receptionist, "Morning, sir." People used to stand up, and he was like this elder statesman, like this father figure that everyone, like Abraham Lincoln, walking in and everyone standing up to give him the respect, the attention. Even vendors, suppliers who would come there, they would stand up because he was well respected. But the day he got terminated, and his termination was not in the best way possible, he was, as soon as he came to the office, he was informed that he lost his job by a phone call. He was asked to come to the HR. They informed him, "You lost your job." Okay. And then he was like, "Okay, I'll at least go back and finish up, wind up." No, there's no need to go back. They locked him out of the system. They took his security pass, they took everything, and he was actually made to wait at the um, reception area. So very painful. He was being treated like as if he was dirt. The very same people who were like kissing his ass and sir and this and that, now they were treating him like he's an outsider. And very soon, long story short, he was asked not to come to the office anymore. They would pay him everything and bye bye. Now just imagine, once upon a time, everyone used to call him left, right, and center to talk to him, take his permission. Sir, how are you? Sir, this, sir, that. They would even celebrate birthdays together. They would even celebrate New Year, Diwali, Eid, and all that. He was like a father figure. And these very same people, but after he lost his job, not one single phone call, not one. And that really got to him. And we were speaking about it, and he was telling me how he offered opportunities to so many of them, how he gave them jobs, how he mentored them. And this is what they gave in return. Well, obviously, job insecurity was also there. And out of the whole company, maybe one or two called him, but that also secretly. So, you know, the point I'm trying to tell you is, when you're useful to somebody, then they will kiss your ass. But when you're not useful, it's bye-bye. The last example that I'll give you, and yeah, like they show their real colors. The last example is this guy. He came to me for mentoring, training, long-term client. And eventually we realized that his marriage was a massive hurdle because his wife wanted to control him. Wife didn't want him to be independent. Wife didn't want him to grow. Didn't want him to go to the gym. Didn't want him to study. Didn't want him to apply for a new job. Seriously, huh? But she didn't mind her doing it. She didn't mind going to the gym or getting trained or going to the beauty parlor or applying for other jobs. She wanted to be in the position of power, and she wanted him to be more of a like housewife. Okay. I don't know if you can call this a feminist kind of feminazi role. But one thing was, he was a very dedicated husband. He really loved his wife. He really loved his children. Now, the thing that struck him was, her parents were very supportive towards him. Her parents loved him. They would call him every day. They would talk to him every day. They would spend time with him every day. And they really, like, he really felt, this is my mother and father. Even though he loved his mother and father, he loved them more. And he would really take care of them more. He would give them more. More than he would give his parents. Lo and behold, once he started mentoring and this and that, I told him, you want to progress, you have to break off from this toxic relationship. Because she started, as soon as she found out that he was being mentored by me, she exerted even more control. She didn't want him to even talk to me. He used to literally talk to me in the car. He used to go down in the car. He used to talk to me in secret because she would drive him mad. She would break the peace in the house. She would break stuff in the house, shout and scream and this and that. And even the parents had a kind of a meeting with him that this guy is satanic, this guy is evil, this guy is the devil worshipper, blah, blah, this and that. So finally, whether you believe me or not, I try to make him try to reconcile with his wife without being in the scene. Didn't work because she gave him an ultimatum. If you want this marriage, you have to do A, B, C, D, D. Apart from not talking to me, you cannot go for gym, you cannot go for improvement, you cannot go for this course, everything which we were working on. He said no. So she, being the kind of alpha in the relationship, she asked for a divorce and she applied for a divorce, and he said, okay, fine. So her ego couldn't take it. So they said, okay, fine. But now here's the funny thing. The divorce was an ugly affair. A lot of money got spent, a lot of time got spent, a lot of fake allegations. Eventually they got divorced, but the part that was actually shocking, very, very shocking, was the same people who he felt were like mother and father, he felt were like parents. Now, this is the part that really shocked him. Who used to spend time talking to him, being with him, and everything else, they testified against him with false allegation. They destroyed his character in front of the judge. They made false claims that he was abusive, he was evil, he was using physical this thing, stuff that he never did. And even though he had spent so much of money, his own salary, like she was earning, he was earning, he used to take almost like 30-40% of his salary to keep them happy. They claim that he never took care of the family and forget them, and basically all lies. And in the end, they smeared and tried to destroy his reputation. And ever since the divorce, they never even spoke to him, never even looked at his face, never acknowledged him. Imagine a person for so many years of your life, say, example, 15, who you think are your well-wishers, who love you. But when they had to take sides, they dumped you like a piece of hot potato. And he was very, very shocked. Huh? He's still trying to reel out of it, out of that reality that the people he loved could act like this. He thought that they were on his side. I told him, blood is thicker than water. They will support their own daughter. And they kept you more as a slave, as a servant to serve the daughter. And as long as they could use you to their benefit, they did. Because words mean nothing. Being sweet means nothing. You're the one who was giving them the money, time, effort, everything else. He's to pick them up, drop them, take care of them, buy them stuff, give them whatever they want. He never focused on him. So eventually, he's still run real out of it, but it still bugs him that he gave so many years of his life. So overall, what I want to tell you through this video is always keep in mind human nature or human beings. They'll be nice to you, they'll be sweet with you, they'll be whatever, as long as you're of some benefit to them. The day that benefit no longer exists, you'll see the true colors. Whether it's friends, whether it's relatives, whether it's family members, even your own mother and father sometimes. Remember, mother and father is a very pious, holy role, term. We look at father figure, mother, it's very sacred, at least for human beings. But then the person who takes that role may not necessarily, forget having the maturity, may not have the heart or the character to execute that role. That is why we have many fathers who really shouldn't be fathers and many mothers who really shouldn't be mothers. Now, with regards to this guy's in-laws, it's not that they are evil. They just knew very clearly what their agenda was. And for them, their priority was their daughter, not this guy. And the only reason they were nice to him is they could use him for the benefit of the daughter. And they worked as a team, and this guy was the fool. Anyway, he's recovering. It'll take time, but eventually he'll get stronger. Like this, what doesn't break you only makes you stronger. So these are my observations and, incidents that I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? Love to hear what you have to say. And keep this much in mind. One final message for you, like moral of the story. Anyone who's nice to you, anybody who's nice to you, always understand there is an agenda, whomsoever it is. As long as you're beneficial to them, as long as they, get something from you, they put 10, and they get 100 or they get more, yes, it's good. The day you stop or the day you're no longer of any use to them, the question, why should they be nice to you? That is why even your own child, no matter how much you sacrifice for that child, there is no guarantee that one day that child will be there for you. That's the reality of life. Anyway, good, bad, ugly, feel free, comment down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.